Welcome, South Florida baseball fans. We have a treat for you today. We're going to be previewing the Jupiter Christian Miami Christian regional semifinals coming up Monday and Tuesday. We have with us today Coach Chris Cuadra from Miami Christian and Coach Kenny Silvestri from Jupiter Christian. Guys, welcome in.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thanks for having us.
Kenny, let's start with you guys. You guys, district title this year. You guys have had a strong season. You're playing good baseball. Talk a little bit about the journey for your team so far this year.
Yeah, it's been a great season. We are very senior heavy this year. We have 10 seniors on the roster, and pretty much every game we have 7, 8, 9 seniors in the starting lineup. So it's a pretty experienced team, and it's a lot of kids that were our varsity lineup last year. And so, we're again just have a bunch of kids who have played together for years here at Jupiter Christian School. I've coached several of these kids 5 years in a row now at Jupiter Christian School, from JV a couple of years ago to varsity baseball the last couple of years. And so, I'm just really happy that for our seniors that they're going out with some success and a real just a real successful season.
Sure. And Coach Cuadra, you guys have taken a different path this year than you normally would take. You guys 11 and 15 on the year. You always stack your schedule, so it's always going to be not a great record because of the way you set up your schedule. But you seem to have put it together last week. Talk a little bit about your guys' journey and how different it was compared to past years for you guys.
Yeah, so usually I put a tough schedule. I graduated 10 guys last year. We had a deep run in the playoffs, made it to the state final. We fell short. So I put a tough schedule to prepare them. I have a lot of incoming freshmen and sophomores. We're a little young. I have some older guys as well. So I felt to get to this point, we had to go through our growing pains and keep the tough schedule to prepare us for a deep run in the playoffs, and that's what we're expecting to do.
Sure. Coach Silvestri, you guys are up against this week a team with a lot of history the last 8 or 10 years. They've won state titles. They're there almost every year. You guys are knocking on the door to try to get to the level where they've been the last few years. So talk a little bit about the challenge that you guys have, no matter what their record is, of what you're up against this week.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone in our region knows that they just know the name of the Miami Christian program. I mean, the past, I've, been at Jupiter Christian for 5 years, and, even when I was our JV coach, following our varsity team's playoff runs and everything, it was always like, oh, let's see, the bracket and everything. Oh, there's Miami Christian, there's Miami Christian, there's Miami Christian. And I actually think Coach, maybe 3 years ago or something, I'm pretty sure Jupiter Christian went down to play Miami Christian in a playoff game.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, just absolutely 100% in our region. Everyone knows the name Miami Christian. They've obviously had a lot of success in the last decade under Coach Cuadra, 100%. And so, we're looking forward to for the opportunity this week, head down to Miami and hopefully play a couple of high quality baseball games.
And Coach, how tough is it for you, knowing that this is the way teams look at you? This is the way you're looked at, not only in South Florida, but throughout the state. And maybe this team, is a little younger than the teams that come before them. So how hard is it for you to get them to understand that, like, teams are still looking at you and coming after you like your teams of the past? So how hard is that for you?
It is. Well, we saw it through the beginning of the year and middle of the year, all year long. Everyone comes at us like with a bullseye on our backs, and every time we end up on the losing side, they celebrate like it's a big win. So I feel it. I had a frustrating season, but I kept telling the boys, is just let's get to the playoffs and anything can happen, and play baseball the right way and see what happens.
So this 2 out of 3 format, a lot of people had questions about it. We didn't really know how this ranking system was going to work with it. And through the first week, from everybody I've talked to, it's been a tremendous success. I talked a little before you got on, Coach Cuadra. We talked, me and Kenny, a little bit about how it's been much better for organization purposes. You guys know you're playing Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 3 weeks in a row. So I guess let's start with you, Chris. Talk a little bit about how much of an advantage it is to know exactly when those games are coming each week.
Absolutely. We get our starting rotation and in a groove. We know what to do throughout the week to get them prepared to, you're gonna go Monday, you're gonna go Tuesday, who's in the bullpen, who's not in the bullpen. I think it's a great thing going into it at 3. I give them a day off usually if, and we do come up in the winning side, we get that 1-2 on Monday and Tuesday, then usually Wednesday I gave them off last week, and then we go back to work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and prepare for Monday again to get ready to go.
Sure. And then, Coach, what's your approach there?
Yeah, I mean baseball is a sport where you're different every day depending on who's on the mound, right? So best 2 out of 3, is awesome. And it also can create some pretty chaotic potential game 2, game 3s pitching wise, just depending on, it brings into play, in the 1 game playoffs always it was just throw your best to win, and then whatever you have, throw your best to win. But now there could be more potential strategy, or with pitch counts and Monday, Thursday, and just different things. But I mean, I think it's awesome. I think that's great for the kids. I think the kids love playing the best 2 out of 3 series, and like you said, it's awesome from a coaching standpoint to just know Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And I'm sure Coach Cuadra, I'm sure you loved saying, we both were able to win Monday, Tuesday last week, which is awesome pitching wise, right? To be able to start the next week fresh, as opposed to having to play Thursday. It could change everything, depending on who pitches and how much they throw. And I mean, you never know how Thursday could affect a Monday game.
So how do you guys go about scouting each other? I mean, you both got a lot of friends down here in South Florida. So how do you kind of pick and choose who to believe, who not to believe? Where's your trusted sources at? Kenny, you can go first.
Yeah, I mean, there's some you can do, but there's only so much you can do, and some sports, obviously, you have film and game tape exchanges and all kind of stuff, and that doesn't really happen in baseball, so I mean, if you have common opponents and you have coaches that you're friends with, you can ask. But I mean, it's not like we know Miami Christian's 11-15 record is because they played a really, 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 really tough schedule. So, I mean, you look on Max Preps and see who they're playing, and when they're playing teams of that, high quality, high caliber, you just know you're going to have a good opponent this week.
Chris, how about you?
I usually, through my, like, the last 12 years I've been coaching Miami Christian, I I have my own style, so I go away from all the scouting report. I instill in my program is we play Miami Christian baseball one way, and they got to come and beat us. I do, if I see there's a big arm out there, then obviously I gotta, there's enough video, like he says, out there if there's a big arm. But besides that, I don't look too much into scouting. I just instill in my boys that, and we play Miami Christian baseball, will come up in the winning side.
Kenny, have you talked to your guys at all about going down to Miami? Obviously, it's a different brand of baseball down there, man, and they're passionate and they're over the top sometimes with their fans. So have you talked to your team about how to handle those type situations?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not really, but it helps that we have so many seniors on our roster, and so it might be different taking a real young team into certain environments. And yeah, I mean, for sure, I umpire baseball as well, and I umpire all summer. And certainly when we get a couple of Miami teams, sometimes you can be like, wow, that's that is a little bit different. But I think that having pretty sure our lineup tomorrow will have like 8 or 9 seniors in it, and so just kids that are so experienced and have played together for so long, you like to think that they should be able to remain calm in tough situations.
Sure. Well, you guys have both had strong years, even with the records. Everything's out the window tomorrow. You guys are going to go at it for 2 days, and I wish you guys both luck. And I'll be talking to one of you guys at the end of the week. So good luck in the series this week.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah. Bye.